Are clients micromanaging you with nonstop texts and feels impossible to stay organized and on top of projects when you're communicating in this way? Texting may seem like an easy option, but I learned early on in my career that it was actually more of an invitation for chaos when you're working and trying to communicate with a client for a longer term project. In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 reasons why it's bad for your business to text with your clients, how it could be costing you up to $25,000 per year, and the one exception when I find it acceptable to text and why. Reason number 1 why it is bad for your business to text with clients is that you're not then setting clear boundaries and having a structure in your business. I have found that with the text messages, the expectation is that you're going to reply immediately. But with a client, sometimes depending on what you're doing, the situation, what time it is, you're not always going to be replying immediately. And so then what happens is the client's wondering, well, did they get my message? And also that text, quite often, if I don't respond straight away, is going to get buried, and it's going to get buried in the other texts that I receive throughout the day, whether it's for a reminder of my hair appointment or my daughter messaging me about something, and so I find that when you set these boundaries with clients, we put this in our contract and we state that we have a no texting policy, and we explain to them that this is part of the reason why. We also explain what our working hours are, that we respond to emails between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. in the afternoon. So that way you're setting up a structure and that they can be respectful of your time. Reason number 2, we just don't find this to be an effective way to work with clients. How are you organizing these texts? How are you organizing this communication that you get? What if they're sending you a photo of an area rug or a backsplash tile, or a link to something? Now, whatever it is that you're doing, you're taking your head out of that, trying to get into their project so you can respond to them because they're expecting a response immediately. It's just not a good way to keep things organized, and also just an efficient use of everybody's time. So we do not like working this way, especially for full service clients, when we are very clear to them from the beginning that there is no piecemeal and we are taking care of every single detail. So it could be a little different when you're working with a designer by your side client, but I still suggest that you get this communication over into your emails and into your inbox. And reason number 3 is the one that could be costing you tens of thousands of dollars per year, and that's all about logging your time. How are you logging your time for texts? It's really hard to look back and look at those texts and see how long it might have taken you to respond back and forth with your client. And so let's just say that you're sending over the course of 1 week, you're messaging with your client, or they're messaging you 5 or 6 times. And those texts add up to 1 hour, just 1 hour per week, let's say. And you charge $150 per hour, and you're not charging for that time. Over the span of 52 weeks, that adds up to $7,800. Right? Now, let's say you're doing that with 3 clients. Now you're nearly at $25,000 a year where you're spending time responding to texts that you are not billing your clients for. It's not an efficient way to work with clients. I highly recommend you get your clients off of the text, get them onto the email where things can be documented, you can see everything, and it's much more easier to keep track of any sort of links and photos. And that way also you could have, if you have an assistant helping you who manages your inbox, they can see those emails where they won't see the text. Now, the one exception that I do have is for quick text for clients. So for example, if I'm running late to a client meeting, I might be like, hey, I've hit traffic, I'm going to be 5 minutes late. As well, if I know that the client is more of a texter and they prefer text as opposed to email, I will send them a text to say, hey, we just sent you an email with a proposal, or we just sent you an email with our latest invoice, or we just sent you an email with a copy of the presentation. Please go check your inbox. That way you're doing a quick text and it's not ongoing. So by implementing these 3 strategies, you can make your life a lot less chaotic and streamline your billing and have more of an effective communication with your clients. I'm Claire Jefford, giving you clarity in your interior design business. I'll see you next time.